I created it is one of the most powerful statements that we can use to loosen the chains of the reality that we have kept ourselves in or feel trapped in. To loosen the barriers, to open the glass ceiling, so to speak. When we recognize that we create everything in our life, and I mean everything in our life, then all of a sudden we take back that power that we have and we can create a new reality. So you may be asking, I know I create some things, but do I really create everything? And the answer is yes. And when we say, how do we create everything? And, I understand, that I create certain things, I manifest sometimes, but how am I actually creating everything that I experience? And the answer is to look at exactly how we create. The first step is to recognize how we create. And the way we create is using our thoughts. Now, our thoughts are split out into, let's just say, two types of thoughts. The first type of thought is our conscious thoughts. These are the thoughts that we're aware of. These are the ones that we remember having had that thought. The ones where we say, okay, this is what I'm going to create. And we keep that thought at the forefront of our mind and we create from there. The second type of thought is the subconscious thoughts. And these are the ones that are a little trickier, right? And these are the ones that we don't remember having. They're ones that we had and then we forgot. They're ones that we don't really remember just where they came from or ever having had that thought, but we know that our subconscious mind is constantly working and is constantly having thoughts. So our subconscious mind can actually create oftentimes more powerfully than the conscious mind. And if we say, okay, well, we know that the subconscious mind is creating because it's having these thoughts that create, then how do we change those thoughts? How do we control those thoughts? How do we even know what thoughts our subconscious is having, right? If we don't remember them. And there's a couple aspects to this in order to really figure that out. But the first step is to acknowledge that I create everything, right? That's incredibly empowering. It's an incredibly empowering thought. And then say, if I create everything, then everything that's standing in front of me, everything that's part of my experience right now, I created. Through conscious thought or subconscious thought, it doesn't matter. I created it. Okay. So now write down the things that you are experiencing. Write down the things that are in your world. Are you experiencing a lot of lack, or are you experiencing a lot of wealth or abundance? Are you experiencing health or dis-ease or pain? Are people around you experiencing anger and frustration, or are they experiencing a lot of love and joy and gratitude, right? So if we write down the things that we're experiencing, then we can say that these things came from thought, subconscious or conscious. And now go down the list and say, okay, well, these ones are conscious thoughts, that I remember creating this with conscious thought. And for the other ones, the ones oftentimes that we cannot even believe that we created, those are coming from our subconscious. And so now we first have to accept that it came from our subconscious. Just because we don't remember it doesn't mean it's not real, doesn't mean it's not that we didn't create it. Then we are going to sit down in meditation and we are going to sit quietly. We are going to still our minds. We are going to focus our attention on that one creation of yours or of ours, and really see, where did this come from? What is the sponsoring thought? Why would I have this thought? And you'd be surprised, or you may not be surprised, depending on how much work you've done in meditation, that you will get an answer. And we'll find out why we're having those thoughts, right? And where they're stemming from. And once we do that, then we have an opportunity to replace that thought. We have an opportunity to change our thinking, to decide differently, to forgive, to give forth that thought and the meaning that we gave it beforehand, or the validity that we gave it beforehand, and replace it with a new thought. And once we do that and make a new decision, then all of a sudden everything changes. So as you go through this process, this is a great way to see what your conscious mind is thinking, what your subconscious mind is thinking, and then really be able to evaluate it, clean up the thoughts that are not serving you, clean up the thoughts that are creating or are making experiences that you no longer want to experience, and then move forward with ones that you do. So conscious thoughts, subconscious thoughts, they are the creators. We get to experience all of our thoughts because they manifest at some level, every single one of them. So as you watch this out, watch this video, make sure you get a journal and document the things that you see in your day-to-day life, and sit in meditation on it. Sit in meditation, ask why you're experiencing this, ask how you created it, ask what the sponsoring thought is that created this circumstance, and let's forgive that thought. Let's forgive the misjudgment that we had, right, that created that and that allowed that to become truth, which is how it manifested in our life. So for daily meditation videos and to rise with Recia, subscribe to this channel and visit me on the next video. See you then.